So what's money? It depends on who you ask, when you ask them, and where you ask it. So what do I mean with that? Money has evolved over time. But in general, you can give it the following definition, that any asset that's widely accepted as payment for goods and services, or that's accepted in the repayment for debt. So as you already know, an asset can be tangible, that you can touch it, or it can be intangible. Widely accepted means that it's accepted within the community. So communities used to be small, but are of course now global. And as a payment for goods, like an eraser or a service, for example, you can audit my books, or you can do a service for me. And of course in the repayment of debt, which is currently the most known form of our money. As we described previously, we have more than 95% debt-based money. In other words, if everybody starts repaying their debts, we would have no more money. So the general definition that any asset that's widely accepted as payment for goods and services or in the repayment for debt, the key here is that it can be literally any asset, right? So I got a cup of beautiful things over here. It could be, for example, this shell. We used to have shells as payments in certain regions in a certain time of the world, right? The rarity of certain assets made it more valuable. In the end, I think Nick Szabo wrote a great article about it, is that we humans often have the tendency to collect things. We are gatherers, and collectibles like exotic shells or kilograms of salt or gold or digital gold like Bitcoin, as they sometimes call it, we often tend to collect things. By the way, also behavior that I see within my kids, I can give them a bucket and they start to collect as many as possible. So it starts early. Other forms of money, yeah, I've got euros over here, which in this case is a 5. I think it's approximately $6 or so, or 50 nowadays. Indian rupee, 50,000 rupiah. So this is approximately a bit more than 3 euros. So you see what inflation has done with this currency. So bottom line here is that different forms of money have different properties. And while the ledger evolved, money evolved with the ledger. So common misconception is that wealth equals money, where wealth though is a certain accumulation of, for example, money, but could also be a car, a house, or whatsoever. It's a store of value. Basically, you store your wealth, and money can be seen as a flow. It goes from hand to hand to hand, etc. It goes as a flow. Like, for example, your salary, which you receive periodically. By the way, the word salary comes from the word salt, where salt used to be used as money as well. Interesting fact there as well. So wealth is known as a stock, where income is known as a flow. And a currency is something that's circulating and being accepted by the ecosystem as a repayment or a payment for goods or services or a repayment of debt, right? So those are the bit of the different definitions you have there. What you also need to realize is that money can actually be anything. So just imagine that you're in a prison and you want to smoke. Well, cigarettes would in this case have a value because they are scarce. So all of a sudden you can create an ecosystem where cigarettes will function as money, and you can use them to buy goods or services, or if you want somebody to step in the shower, for example, as a service, or goods, soap, or in repayment for debt, you paid some, or you needed somebody to get whacked in the shower, whatever. I'm diverting here. Bottom line is money can actually be anything, and in real life it's also often called intrinsic value, but the bottom line is what in life really does has intrinsic value. And with that, I would like to close off this session and take you on to the next property. If you have any interesting comments about what does have intrinsic value, please specify why, and why an alien race, for example, would give that value as well. Is it oxygen? Is it water? Is it gold? Does this truly have intrinsic value? See you up in next session where we're going to discuss the properties of money.